It's me, Lifespiller79. This is my show. Glad to be back. Glad to do another video. Man, in this video, I wanted to talk about some PS2 games that I would recommend out of my current collection. At this point, I've accumulated probably almost 150 PS2 games. As you can see, this takes up one stack of my shelf. And actually down here, I had to restack my shelf and put them up like kind of like this instead of like this, because it let up some room for my original Xbox games, my 360 games, and my some more of my PS2 stuff. And then I had to move all my PS3 games down to the bottom because they stack a lot smaller, and the way my shelf is really wide, but then it gets really small at the bottom. So anyway, I just was going through organizing my PS2 games, and I was thinking, you know what? I got a bunch of games that I could recommend, because you want to be able to separate from getting the good stuff versus trash. You know, I mean, it's nice to add video games to your collection, but at the same time, you want to add some quality titles to where you play the game, you enjoy it, and no matter how much you spend on it, you get your value or your money's worth, which is the key essence to collecting. You know, it's not just accumulating a bunch of video games. You know, that's easy to do. We can go out and buy a bunch of games, and I know I've been guilty of doing that. But at the same time, I thought maybe I could do that. And so today what I wanted to talk about is those things. I'm probably going to split this up into two pieces or two parts, just depending on how long it is, because I want to keep your attention, and also at the same time, I want you to enjoy the video just as much as I'm delivering it, so that I can convey that message unto you guys. All right, the first game that I wanted to recommend actually came as a recommendation from my boy Dave. I'm a game geek. It was the Marker of Cry. He had recommended this to me like last year, some time ago, and I've actually enjoyed this. It's one of those games where you learn new moves as you go. Here's the back. And the book is nice and thick, old school manual instruction booklet type thing going on there. I like that. Kind of reminds me of other games that I've gotten in the past, you know, and I can definitely appreciate that. And it's even got the little thing in there. But this is a really good game. It's a good adventure game. Power-ups as you go. You learn a lot of moves. You make a lot of progression. I probably gonna spend about 5 or 10 hours on this game, because this one does invest. You know, it does require a lot of your time, and I haven't had too much of that. I've been getting so many new things, so I've been diving into that right now. Next game is for those real old schooler arcade playing guys. It's called, I think it's pronounced Tattoo Legends. And actually, I think this is the first volume, and it actually comes with 29 arcade games, or 28, I'm sorry. And the some of the games I would recommend off of here is Space Invaders, Rostin, which is really a really good game. It's a venture game. Space Invaders 2. Let's see. There's some shooters in here and stuff like that. Ninja Aid. There's a lot of old school stuff in here, man. This really, for the most part, this takes you back to the arcade. If you ever played a lot of arcade games back in the 80s and into the 90s a little bit there's a lot of little gems in here. So you just got to search through it, and you'll be able to find what you're looking for. But yeah, man, this is really good. And I think this is just volume 1. I know there's other volumes out there, because I've seen them at other stores. Now, I normally don't recommend racers because I don't play that many race car games, but I do remember this game and I love playing it, and that's why when I saw it, I actually had to run and pick it up. And I got this a while back. I probably got this a couple years back. I don't even recall. It's Need for Speed Underground. It's got the whole, let's see, Fast and Furious elements to it. Just like the movie, where everything blends in inside, you know, like when you feel like you're going through a vortex or something like that. But this is a really good race car game. It's really fast. It gives you the element of actually being in a video game, or actually being in a car at high speed. So I would definitely recommend this game. The next game actually came recommended to me. It's called Kim Possible, recommended by Metal Jesus Rock. And this actually turned out to be a really good game. It's a side scroller, 2D, little bit of 3D, small little 3D elements to it. It kind of reminded me of this little indie game. I can't even remember. Oh man, I can't think of it right now because I got so many thoughts racing through my head. But this is a really good game. Don't overlook it just because it's a cartoon. It'll definitely give you. Here's some of the gameplay footage right here. But yeah, this is a really good side scroller. A lot of action, upbeat, fun video game. You'll have a lot of fun with that. You already know how PS2 games are. Most of the stuff is quality, and then you're going to have a good experience. So this is definitely a good one. Now, this one that I found, and I didn't even know it existed. It was Rygar. I remember Rygar for the NES, and I love Rygar. And I happened to come across this probably about a year and a half ago, and got to the very end of the game. I still haven't beat the darn thing. It's driving me nuts. I think I don't have all my proper tools in order to beat the final boss. But I had a lot of fun playing it, and it's a 3D adventure game, single player, and that's Rygar. Definitely pick this up. It'll be worth it. I mean, I paid like $4 or $5 for it at the time. And here's some of the game footage right here. Really, really good game. A lot of action, upbeat kind of game. Pretty much you do your power-ups. It's a warrior. Me personally, I like single player games. I like adventure games. I like the element of playing against somebody or playing in a world, and it's in the Roman time, so it's definitely got that whole element to it, the whole element of the 300 type thing going with it. But this is a really good game, man. I would definitely. The next game that I wanted to recommend was a game that a lot of people probably didn't even know about because it came out so early. I think probably the third or fourth year in the PS2 era. There was a downloadable version that recently came out. I purchased that. I think I got it for my 360. Didn't get it for my PS2 or my PS3. But the actual next game that I wanted to recommend was Beyond Good and Evil. Really, really good game. Jade stars the character named Jade. It's a female character, which a lot of games don't have a lot of, which I should have mentioned with Kim Possible, but a lot of games don't have a lot of star leading female characters in it. But this one is really good. It's got Jade, and then there's Paige, there's this pig. Then she's pretty much trying to save her island or her planet from being invaded, from being brainwashed, from being taken over. If you can't tell, I really love this game. I beat this game probably about 3 times already, and I enjoy each time going back. But I would definitely recommend it. If you don't have this in your collection, pick it up now. Now the next game is a different transition. It was I guess technically the 5th game out of the GTA era or the Grand Theft Auto era, was San Andreas. The star character is CJ. He's got his nice little gang or posse or whatever you want to call it. The reason why I would recommend this one because it takes you back to the 90s. It incorporates every single element of the 90s of what was going on at that time. It takes a lot of movies and incorporates it into the video game, like Boys in the Hood. What else? Menace to Society. They take a lot of trends and music and the way people talk, the way people act, the way people thought. But it's the lead character with CJ. There's a lot of betrayal. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of adventure. It's very long, and I'm gonna tell you right now, it gives you your money worth. Still haven't beat this game to this day. If you recall the video I did a while back about my bucket list, this one is still on my bucket list. I have not had the time to go back. I started playing again. I made it halfway through the game, but I've come to a standstill. The next game I wanted to recommend before I recommend my other one, just because I'm just going through my PS2 games, not in a specific order like greatest to worst or best, is God of War 2, which I talked about in my God of War collection. Definitely, I would recommend this game. Not the best one out of the series, but it definitely gives you the transition. This is the game that came out shortly before the leap to PS3, so they gave you what could be or possibly be. But this one picks up where it left off after God of War 1 with the story of Kratos basically being betrayed by Ares. He defeated Ares. Now he's at the point where he's trying to conquer and take down the gods. Well, take down Zeus pretty much at this point. And so you're pretty much watching his journey, going through that transition, buddying up or joining along with the Titans. So there's a lot of transition, but this is a really good game. I mean, there's a lot of action, there's a lot of blood, there's a lot of violence, a lot of everything. So yeah. Now the next game that I wanted to recommend was the first game out of the series, which I loved. It definitely turned me on because of the weaponry, the action, being able to shoot in the air, being able to defeat all these enemies. I like dark games. I like games that will cross those boundaries and not be afraid, you know. And so Devil May Cry, the first one out of the series, as you can see, that nice little name says Capcom down there, and already lets you know this is a really good game, because they usually make some of the really, really good games. They don't make crappy games. So yeah, definitely recommend on my list. And then the next game, just want to see where I'm at, is Dead to Rights. Basically stars this police officer. Pretty much he's going through a normal situation, trying to save, trying to change some things. I like the little Namco down there. That's another good company. But this one was probably the first 10 or first 20 PS2 games I had when I originally had my PS2 back in like 2000 or 2001. It's a really good game. Wasn't a big fan of the second one out of the series, but yeah, definitely pick this up. It's well worth it. Graphics still hold up to this day. I would definitely recommend this. Of course, this is a really, really good game. I would recommend Resident Evil 4. You pretty much are going through a zombie infested place. You start out in kind of like this farm area or something like that. I made it halfway through this game. I actually have it on my 360 as a download, but I also have it on my PS2, and I think I have it on my Xbox or my game. Oh, I do have it on my GameCube, and that's just how much I love this game. This is really 2 and 4, pretty much to me, are like the best out of the series, because I think it does a transitional turn in the game. Because we went from the overhead top shot down to the more 3D side to side, 2D mixed with 3D. But this is a really good game, so I recommend this as well if you don't already have it. As you can see, I got the greatest one, so I know at least 1 million people already have this. Another game that I love was Ratchet and Clank, the first out of the series. This is a really, really good game. Definitely would recommend you picking this up and enjoy this one. Max Payne, another heartbreaker police officer who pretty much turns bad after his wife and his daughter is murdered. And I mean, it pretty much asks you the question, what would you do in that circumstance or that situation? This is a really, really good game. I had it when it first came out on the PC. I even got part 2 on the PC. And then when I got it on a PC, on a PlayStation 2, because I think they did it as a port and they ported it over, and definitely a good game. I have it on my Xbox as well. But man, Max Payne, basically shows you, like I said, it shows you what will happen to a person, you know, how mad or how crazy they go. And there's parts and elements of this game where he starts to lose it and he's trying to regain his knowledge and his sanity and not go balls crazy or whatever. But yeah, this is really a good game, man, so I definitely recommend this. Next game, another original out of the series is Sly Cooper. Basically Sly Cooper and the Devious Raccoonist. I mean, this is a really, really good game. It's got cartoon in it. It's got a cartoon element to it, but the slickster, sly style of him and going in and out of places, you'll have so much fun. There is challenge in this game, so get ready for that, but it is fun above all, so I would recommend this to you. Now, this game I actually got on Father's Day as a gift. Shadow of the Colossus, man. The second game out of the Eco team, man. It's marked as Adventure Game of the Year at that time. I think I got it back in 05, 04, something like that. What appealed to me was the massive, this was probably one of the first games that could put a beast or a battle or a boss on the entire screen. And there's no kidding when it says Shadow of Colossus. Here's, I think up here in the corner, you can actually see one of the Colossus. You would have to climb almost 2 or 3. I think those pretty much the Colossus were probably about 2 stories at this point. So yeah, there's over, I think it's 14 different Colossus that you got to beat. I think I got to like 12 or 13. Never finished this. Very challenging, but rewarding at the same time. Next game, Hit and Run. Simpsons Hit and Run. Really good game. Kind of got the GTA feel to it, except for you're not stealing out of the stores and stuff like that. You're stealing cars, but you're still keeping a nice little storyline. Really funny. You get to transition between each character as you pass each level. Really fun, so I recommend that. 50 Cent, Bulletproof. Another good game. One of the good ones. Definitely loved it. Have fun with it. You get the option of playing each character from his G-Unit squad. All his music is on there. But it's got a good storyline to it, so I definitely would recommend that. Another one out of the Resident Evil series is Code Veronica X. Originally, when I played this back when it first came out, I hated it. I wasn't down with the whole having to walk sturdy and patiently lurk around corners for bosses and enemies and stuff like that. I'm more just throw me in the moment and then I'm in it. But man, this game grew on me, and I went and picked it back up because I loved it so much. And actually, this is the anniversary. I think this one had the demo. It had the Devil May Cry demo in there. This is a really good game. Actually 2 discs that came with this. It's a really good game. Matter of fact, yeah, let me show you real quick. Right there. So I love this, man. This is really fun. Another game was Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty. You play as Snake, but then also you transition through other characters. It's a really good game. Definitely pick this up. You will not regret it. It is action stealth type of game. Really fun. I had a lot of fun with this game. I love picking this game up, and I've actually got 2 or 3 copies of this just because I love this so much. Another game is Metal Slug Anthology. This one has all 7. This one has 7 of the Metal Slugs. My favorite personally is number 2. I really love it. I don't know what it is about those 2, the second one, but this one is really good. Got a lot of action, multiplayer. You can play between 2-3 players in the game. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this. And the last game that I would recommend is in this part 1 series is Jack and Dexter. I don't know what to say about this game. I don't know how to begin to describe one of the games that pretty much pushed me into buying a PS2, and been loving it ever since, man. It was probably about 10-15 years ago or something like that. I can't even remember the year, but this is one of those action adventure 3D. It keeps you entertained at all times, and it's challenging too. So yeah, this is a part 1 of my series, man, of the games that I would recommend you putting in your PS2 collection. Like, subscribe, comment on the videos as you guys have already been doing. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the comments, good, bad, whatever, man, and the subscribing. Other than that, I'm Lifespiller79, and I'm out.